Boker Tov, we are continuing the Mishnayot, Masechet Pesahim Perek Gimel, Mishnah Daled. We have a few Mishnayot till the end of the Perek. Let's try to do some a little bit today, a little bit tomorrow to finish up B'ezrat Hashem. So the Mishnah here is going to discuss how much time one has from the moment there's water and flour come together. So you're making dough, and now how much time do you have till it becomes matzah? So we know the classic 18 minutes. So here the Mishnah discusses different opinions. Rabban Gamliel Omer, Shalosh nashim lashot ke'achat ve'ofot betanur echad zu achar zu. Rabban Gamliel says 3 ladies could be working with their dough, and let's say there's a oven that could only fit one at a time. That is still enough time that it won't be Hametz. So lady number 1, their matzah could be in the oven, and lady number 2 and 3 are waiting for it to finish. And then it comes out, and then lady 2 dough goes in, and then lady 3 dough goes in, and even though lady 3 has been waiting the longest and nothing's been doing with that dough, it's still not considered chametz. And anyways, it's only in there. Usually, if the heat is like 900 degrees, it's very, very hot. It's in there for about 18, 20 seconds, something like that. So it's not, depends, some have different, some crank it up to even hotter and they keep it in there for less amount of time. But it's in there for 20 seconds or so. Chachamim omrim,
the dough can be prepared for many matzot and cook only one at a time.
So the Mishnah says 3 ladies, 3. Yeah. So now what happens so basically we're going to see all the opinions, and then the 18 minutes that we know of is the most lenient. Sorry, not the most lenient. Is the one that's all encompassing. That according to every opinion, within 18 minutes it's not going to become chametz. So because also we're going to see the Chachamim are going to say that you always have to be working with the dough at all times. You can't just leave it. Right. Or Rabbi Akiva says put in cold water. Like we learned yesterday, we're going to see it today as well. But the cold water, we don't rule like that, but you always have to be working with it, and up to 18 minutes. So yeah, when there is, they put flour and water together, you have one big thing of dough, and then you get like a big dough, and they cut that into little pieces. Each one of those little pieces is a matzah. And then each one takes it, and they start rolling. And meanwhile, now at the beginning of the conveyor line, they put another flour and water together, and they're working with another group. And then it's, so as long as you're within the 18 minutes, and then once 18 minutes is up, then all the matzot that didn't make it into the oven, that's it. They stop the run, right? Usually when I've seen it, they're so professional already. That's it. 16. They know at like 16 minutes or something. They're not making any more matzahs. Like they know that it's like clockwork. But yes, the 18 minutes is the all-encompassing according to every opinion. That's not going to be chametz. So, but Rabbi Gamliel says that his time frame is 3 ladies, not 4, but 3 ladies working on matzot and waiting for an oven where it's one at a time, for one matzah at a time. That's still okay and not considered chametz. Chachamim omrim, Chachamim say, Shalosh nashim oskot b'batzek, 3 ladies, they have to be busy with the dough. Achat lasha, one is kneading, ve'achat orechet, one is setting it up, putting, let's say, the holes in it, and braiding it, if it would be for challah, but getting the matzah ready. Ve'achat ofan, one matzah is in the actual oven. Rabbi Akiva says as follows. He says an interesting statement. He says, Lo kol hanashim, lo kol ha'etzim, lo kol ha'tanurim shavim. Hold on a second. You're making this rule. 3 ladies with the thing. He says, not all ladies are the same. Not all ovens are the same. Not all wood is the same. Some wood burn differently. Some ovens get as hot, whatever. So you can't make a rule. 3 ladies waiting for a thing. What if the lady's slower? What if the wood is not as hot? So he says, this is the rule. Tafach tiltosh betzonen. If you see that it's going up a little bit, add cold water to the dough so that it won't rise. So he gives a good statement. The Chachamim say, but the answer is also still a little bit general. When do I see that it's rising? And so again, the Gemara discusses, etc. And it's the time was again is all encompassing, but his statement is correct where not every woman's the same, not every type of tree, wood is the same, etc. The next Mishnah, Seor Yisaref ve'ochlo patur. Now let's say you have the dough and it's starting to rise. What are the points that it starts to rise that it's considered chametz? Seor is, as the Rabbi Ovadia ben Bartinora says, it starts to lachmitz, but not fully. And we'll see a little bit more in a moment. At that point, you can't eat it, you have to burn it. But if you eat it, there's no karet at that point. Siduk Yisaref. Let's say the dough already cracks. So it rises a little bit, and rising dough starts to break. So once there's a break, that for sure is chametz. Ve'achol chayav karet. If you eat the dough that turned into matzah at that point, chayav karet. Ezu seor. So Mishnah says, what's seor? Kekarnech hagavin. If seor, we said, is the start, which is it starts to formulate two lines like the antennas of a grasshopper. That's what Mishnah says. Siduk shenit arvu sedakav ze bazeh divrei Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda explains what's siduk when there's already many lines and the lines are going into each other. So that means the whole thing's starting to spread, starting to move. Then that is siduk, and that is already chametz. Chachamim omrim ze bazeh achlo chayav karet. Chachamim are strict and said, if you eat this one or this one, chayav karet. None of them are allowed. Ve'ezu seor, but Chachamim explain what seor is. It's a more stringent opinion. Kol sheyichsifu panav, that the face of the dough turned more pale. Ke'adam she'amdu sarotav. And it's interesting, what type of pale? Like a man that his hair stands. When he gets scared, he turns very pale. That color, if you see that color already on your dough, starting to pale up. So it's before it starts to crack. It pales and it cracks. So paling up, then you can't use that type of dough. The last Mishnah quickly, Arba'a Asar Shechal Liyot b'Shabbat. Let's say Erev Pesach is on Shabbat. Mevarin et hakol milfnei Shabbat divrei Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Meir says, Erev Shabbat, you have to burn all your chametz and only keep enough for your seudot, which you don't have to do on a regular Erev Pesach. Regular Pesach, you can keep whatever you want until that certain time. Chachamim omrim bizmanan. Chachamim say, as we rule, no, it always works till the time. So even Erev Pesach is Shabbat, so until that time, whatever, the fourth hour, till that time, so you could have how much chametz you want, you just have to get rid of it. Rabbi Elazar bar Tzidei, you can't burn it, so you put it into the sea, you put it into the lake, whatever, flush it down the toilet. Rabbi Elazar bar Tzadok omer, teruma milifnei Shabbat v'chulin bizmanan. If you have teruma, that's chametz, you have to get rid of that before Shabbat, because on Shabbat, we're afraid you're not going to find kohanim to give it to, and you're also not allowed to get rid of, like in a burning way, on Shabbat. Mechulin bizman, mechulin, regular food, you can keep it on Erev Shabbat till it's time, and that is the way we rule. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen, ve'amer b'chananeh. V'na'at kashya u'meretzat kadosh baruch hu l'zakot, et Yisrael l'fi chanim ba'alam tom so shnei ma'ar hafetz ma'al tzidko. Yagdil Torah ve'yadir.